All right, so we are recording now.
All right, so we are starting. Yep, recording now.
All right, so let's talk about some, let's first of all welcome everybody to the call this evening, and thank you everybody for being on. While we wait for our speaker to come in, let's talk about upcoming events. So feel free to promote events that you have coming up this week. Dana, you have a class that's online that's going on Thursday, right?
Right. Well, first we would have our Tuesday team call coming up. That's the 21st.
Yeah. Our team event on Tuesday off of Civic Center Drive, 7 p.m. We had a really, really good turnout last time, and it was really, really fun. We did some cooking with essential oils. This time we're going to be talking about immune support as we get ready for the fall months that are around the corner. So if you are in the Metro Detroit area, we welcome all to come and support that and enjoy each other's company. And then Thursday, we do have the online class that starts at what time?
So that'll be 8:30 p.m. And it's a back to school. So it's all about kids and oils. It's actually entitled Kid Superhero for Kids. So we're going to go through, again, some good supporting things when you go back to school for the little ones. But it's going to be more specific to kids. And so that's open to anybody, everyone.
All right.
And then also I have a kombucha making party that I'm doing on the 26th, which will be Sunday. So anybody is welcome to join for that as well if you're local.
All right. Any other events going on that you would like to make people aware of?
What time is the what time is the Sunday one?
The kombucha party.
What time is the Sunday one?
3 p.m.
Okay. And then sometime the following week I am doing a Spanish online class. I can't remember. It seemed like something was conflicting with my Tuesday, so it maybe moved to Thursday, but it will be going over all of the seedlings information. So all the mommies out there that speak Spanish in the U.S., or aunts or grandmas that want to make sure that the babies that they love have toxic-free skin, and you can invite them to that. All right, it looks like Marlene has now joined us.
Welcome, Marlene.
Yay!
Right on time. We just got finished the event.
So Marlene, you were going to speak on the Royal Crown Diamond panel from convention, correct?
Correct.
Nice. So we've already done our upcoming events. We're going to go ahead and hand the floor over to you so that you can share what you would like. And then what we'll do is we'll open it up for discussion and any questions that people want answered. So we're still talking about some of the events that we had from convention for those who aren't aware, some of the classes we were able to attend, and some of the things that we appreciated. So Marlene, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you and allow you to take it away.
Okay, awesome. Yay. So just as a heads up, I'll probably get interrupted by the kids at some point tonight. That's just the way that it is tonight because hubby's off trying to get his truck finished so he can actually start using his new work truck because his old truck is like not working anymore. So see, baby, hi, say hi. This is the littlest of the Rankins here. This is Rylan, for those of you who don't know. She's almost 2 years old. So she'll probably be back and forth. But okay, so the Royal Crown Diamond training. Oh my gosh, you guys, that one was awesome to listen to. It was awesome. I absolutely loved it. So what they did for this panel was they asked these Royal Crown Diamonds a question, and then they gave the panel an opportunity to answer the questions. Not everybody answered the same questions. Some people answered more than others. I'm assuming that they were the Reds who were answering more. But it was very good and it was very insightful. So the first question that they asked was, what would you go back and do differently? Which I thought, wow, that's a loaded question. And hold on, sweetie, you're knocking this over, okay? And the theme that came from that question from, I think it was 4 people who responded to that one, was they would focus more on building relationships and not so much being aggressive about the sale or aggressive about showing the business side of things, that they would just be more aggressive about just really focusing on the relationship and listening to people and asking questions that really, where you get to know them a little bit better. Hold on, sweetie, don't do that. Then somebody else piped in and said that they would, hold on a second. I'm going through my notes. I just want to give you guys the highlights because there were like some really good nuggets in there. They would stress the importance of structure from the beginning. So if they had somebody who was new and was just sharing, even if it was like here or there, just 1 or 2 people here or there, that they would really stress like how to structure properly using that rising star bonus and structure that way. And then they said that they would be more open about sharing when the time was right and the relationship was built, about sharing what the comp plan actually was, because they said that the best kept secret of why out is the comp plan, and I can't say that I disagree with that. And Melissa Pepping hopped on and took the mic, and she said, you know what? I think I just would have enjoyed the journey a little bit more. She said, because there were some really rough points and I was so focused on building and growing and reaching all those different goals along the way that I didn't really enjoy it as much as what I should have. And there was so much development going on in me that I didn't really develop or really didn't enjoy all of those. Okay, shh, gotta be quiet, sweetie, okay? That I didn't really enjoy everything that was going on. So one said that they would enjoy the journey a little bit more. Go play with your sisters, okay? So that was that. And then the next question that they said was, what's your typical workday look like? And they all laughed. Every single one of them laughed at this, because I think we all know that there's no typical workday, right? Like every day is different. We try to do IPAs every single day, but how that day looks is different every single day. And somebody grabbed the mic and said, you know, what's normal and what's typical, because it's really not. One of them hopped on and said when she was aggressively building her business, she had toddler at home, and she was also homeschooling her older children. And she said, you know, I just fitted in wherever I could, whenever I could, because that was just the stage of life that she was in. She just made it work. So if she got 5 minutes of downtime, you know, while the kids were busy and they were all quiet, then she took that 5 minutes to send somebody a text message, or to make a quick phone call to somebody, or to set something up. And then another one hopped on and said, I couldn't work like that. I had to have like set structure and set hours. Like I had to know that I had to turn my mom brain off at such time, so then I could go into my work brain mode, which I thought was awesome, because that question really highlighted that, you know, you really can do this however it best fits your needs. You know, because I don't know, you just hearing from all the different moms who built in the different stages of life, so you really have the opportunity to build this however it fits your needs. You know, I've struggled because, you know, being home, I think we all have our struggles, you know, being home with all the kids and homeschooling and just life, like it's hard. So hearing that somebody did it and building in those like 5 to 10 minute increments and just kind of fit it into their life, like that gave me a lot of relief that, okay, I can do this. Like I don't have to have structured time. It's just, it'll come. It's just going to take time, and I just need to stay consistent on it. So that was really helpful piece to me.
That's funny.
They said it's really, really, really important to make sure that during this process that you're scheduling time for yourself, that you're taking care of you, because just the stresses of life as it is, you know, most people who come into this, they're working 2 jobs, right? They're working their normal full-time job, and then they're working their young living business. Okay, guys, if my kids are too loud arguing over there, somebody just pipe on and let me know, and I will, I'll go put a movie on for them. So
You're totally fine.
Are they good?
Yep, you're totally fine. We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Because I never know. I'm like, oh, are they too loud? But, okay. So scheduling me time, like that's huge. Because in order to keep that hustle going and keep that momentum going forward, like we have to take care of ourselves because it's draining. I think it's draining. At least it's been very draining on me. So it's very important to take care of ourselves. No. Then another mom hopped on and she said that she had, it was Melissa. This one was Melissa. Back to Melissa again. That when she first started building, she tried the 5-10 minutes here and there, and it was not working for her. Like it just was not. Her kids were not happy. Nobody was thriving. It was just very hectic in their house. And so she said that she built faster and better once she locked in a solid schedule and had that structure, that everybody was happier, and then her business just exploded from there. Okay, so that was question 2. And then question 3 was, what was the single most important thing you did? And the first response was, just be there for your team. Build your relationships with them. Always be there for them because they're going to be the ones that are going to take you to the top. So you pour into them, you love on them, you send them gifts, you send them letters, you incentivize things, you just send them random happy mail, like just really, really, really love on your people. Whether or not they're building the business, you still got to love on them. Which I think we're kind of hearing this theme, right? Build relationships, right? Dad, can you turn a movie on for them? Okay, no, can you go turn, I know, can you go turn one on? Thank you. And then another one popped on and said, the more problems you learn how to solve, the more money you're going to make. So for instance, people who are 0 PV members, people who are the ones who sign up, and then they don't buy anything else, okay? Well, why is that? Is it just that they're not using the product? Is it that they're intimidated by it? Is it that they don't know how to use it? Why is it that they're not, why is it that they're still a 0 PV person, okay? Then they said, don't be afraid to create resources if you need them. I mean, there's like, it's, for me, the green, like it's very overwhelming to me how many resources they are because I want to find the best resource. So if something's not working for you resource-wise, then don't be afraid to create your own. You know, if something's not speaking to you and you don't think that it's going to speak to that person, then don't be afraid to make your own resource. And then they said that what they found to be the most helpful for this in solving problems was having like pre-made resources already created. So one of them said that she had a YouTube channel that she went ahead and created. And Tashina, I think you do this. I think you do this, where she has in that how to use your diffuser, how to clean it, how to log into your office, how to enroll someone, like all of these less than 5-minute how-to videos that she can just, thank you, Devin, take a link and send it on to that person. So then she's not like taking that 5 minutes every day or every other day, repeating the same thing over and over and over again. It's, hey, quick, here, this is how you make a roller bottle. This is how you make, you know, a salve. This is how you make whatever it is. She's got a video made for it. So I was like, that sounds amazing to have that. I might do that. And then the yellow hopped on and said, really and this goes back to building relationships again, really taking the time to just love people where they are. Because oftentimes we get so caught up in our world and what we want that we're trying, I think inadvertently we project onto other people what we want their wants to be, and what we think their wants are. And so she said, just really pay attention to that when you're talking to somebody, is to really just love them where they are, meet them where they're at, you know. And if somebody says like, you know, if their house is like full of toxins, like obviously you can't come like barreling in on them and be like, oh my God, you're killing your family, you know, because it can be very overwhelming to somebody who's just starting on the journey and learning about how dangerous it is to them, especially if they have young children and they're finding out like how bad it really is for their family. So she said, be gentle and be kind and just love them where they're at. Avoid the energy vampires was the next thing, because there's a lot of energy vampires out there, and there's a lot of people that speak negativity into their lives. And she said negativity is okay, but make sure that you set boundaries for it. Make sure that you set boundaries for every single thing in your life, because when you set boundaries, you find joy, and it zaps the energy vampires, and it kind of sets a different standard, that you're not going to take, you know, them talking negatively, unless you've given them that opportunity to speak negatively to you. Now, I think a really good example of that, nobody gave examples, but I think a really good example of that was Marlene Wiegers one day said, she was at a Shannon event, and I'll never forget it, because I don't know if it's just the yellow in me or the empath, and people like pick up on that. So I like, people download on me all the time, like, blah, like all the stuff that's going on in their life. And I'm like, oh, like White Angelica has been a godsend for me, seriously. But they do. And so I've learned, and it's been so hard, you guys. Like, I can't even begin to explain to you how hard this has been to set that boundary, to say, when I start to hear the negativity come up, I'm like, okay, hold on. You got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes to finish the story, and then we're done. We're done. We're moving on to something positive. And I thought at first that would like really hurt people. And I thought at first that like it would really offend a lot of people, and people would think that I was being mean, and I was not, you know, that I was just being a really mean person. And I've found over the past year since I've been doing that, that people are a lot more respectful of their words around me now. Like the people who I had to set that boundary with a year ago, because I'm like, what? I can't do it. They're barely negative around me anymore. And it's kind of cool. Or they preface it and say, okay, I just need to vent really quick. I know I've got 2 minutes. Let me just get it off my chest. And I'm like, okay, great. Get it off your chest. Let's go. And I preface it now too, because I realized that after I heard Marlene say that on stage. I can't remember when it was or where it was, but okay, thank you. So I'm a lot more aware of that as well, and preface it and say, okay, I just need to vent for a minute so people can prepare themselves that it's going to be negative coming at them. And then I'm done. I'm over it. I've moved on to something else. Then they talked about that nobody's path to Royal Crown Diamond, I know, I got it, thank you, is the same. Nobody's path is the same. Everybody does it differently. You've got, you know, Marcella Von Harding, who does nothing online at all whatsoever. And then you've got Lindsay Teague Marino, who does literally everything online, including follow-up. Everything for her is online. So no one path is the same. And in order to get to Royal Crown Diamond, you really need to focus on tapping into your gifts. Find what your gifts are, what your passions are, and where your strengths and talents are, and use those. Don't focus on identifying what your weaknesses are and then trying to like raise those weaknesses up. Don't do that. Focus on your gifts. Find people in your organization and in your team that are gifted in your weaknesses, and collaborate with them, like lock arms with them and run with them on that. So Work in your gifts, not against them. Who else? Oh, Melissa said what she did, I think it was after she hit silver, she said that she assigned each rank a frequency, right? And she gave it a number. She decided there was no science behind it. It was just arbitrarily, like, it was a number, like silver was 1,000. And every morning she would wake up and she would say, okay, am I functioning today at 1,000? Is my frequency at 1,000 today? And if it wasn't, and if it was lower, then she took a minute to take a step back to say, okay, why is it that I'm not functioning at 1,000? Because in order for me to be a silver, I have to be at 1,000 all the time, every single day. So what do I need to do to raise myself from here to here for the day? And she said that that really made a difference for her, because she went into each day with that mindset of, I have to show up. I'm waking up in a mood where I don't want to show up. So what do I need to do to change that? And I thought that was really cool. And then one other person just mentioned that, you know, don't get so, like, the big thing right now is everybody's growing on social media, which, don't get me wrong, it is a powerful tool. It is a powerful tool to grow business. But they said, don't lose sight of the fact that this company was built and founded on building relationships. Yes, social media is great, but don't lose sight of that it's, you know, it's relationship based. So I thought those are really good. And the next question was, what are the top IPAs that you do? And the number one thing was coaching, you know, just coaching people about the business, coaching people about the product, coaching people, just teaching them, spending time with them, building that relationship with them. You know, spending the time to teach people how to share. And then when they have a block, really help them to find why it is that they have that mindset issue. Help walk them through that and get them through that. And I'll tell you that for me personally, I knew I had a block. I've had a block for, I probably had several blocks, but I knew it was at least one. And I've had that block for 3 years now, which is why I haven't ranked up in 3 years. And I finally gotten past it, and I'm so excited. If you've got a block, this is on a side note, the RCDs didn't talk about this, but this is on a side note. This is the tip that one of the diamonds gave me last year at convention. She said, if you have a block and you don't know what it is, or maybe you do know what it is, then do the aroma of freedom technique to get yourself over that block. And after going through that this weekend with Dr. Perkis at Shannon's event, I can hands down tell you that I will be utilizing that almost every single day, because it was that powerful. It was amazing. Like, I have a goal set that I was like, yeah, that's crazy. There's no way that I could do that. And after doing that AFT with Dr. Perkis, I was like, you know, I think I can do it. Like, I can do it. And it's a crazy goal. So anyway, AFT, to get through blocks, no joke. It's a beautiful thing. They said the other top IPA was consistency, which is the curse word of the C's, right? Consistency, being consistent. Be a product of the product. Be genuine in your sharing, not salesy. Again, goes back to that building relationships, finding the needs. And then find team gifts and recruit for your weaknesses, which we already talked about. And then I think it was Echo who popped in. She said, you know, one of the questions that I've gotten along the way is, you know, I've gotten a lot of people that have said to me, you know, I just can't afford this. I can't afford it right now. She said, this is broken down mainly for one reason, because you haven't given them, either you haven't provided them the value that they're going to be receiving out of becoming a Young Living member, or you gave them that value, but they weren't receptive to receiving it yet. So she said what she does is she tells her people that have this, she says, okay, can you afford to take $40 for 4 months and set it aside? I will stay in contact with you during those 4 months. I want you to come to my classes that I have, and I will still invite you to everything. I want you to come and learn because I do care about you, and this stuff will make such a huge difference in your life that I promise you, you will learn and you will see how valuable this is. And she said by the second month, people have already made their purchases with that. So she said that has been a huge, huge tool for that, because people see that you're focused on them and you're focused on the fact that you care about them because you just keep educating them. You keep bringing them back to meetings. You keep inviting them back to meetings, and they don't feel pressured. And so they're more likely to make that jump to then become a member and purchase that kit. And then she said with people who where money is not an issue with the products, and when she's teaching a class, you know, she does some vision casting with them and says, great, so what do you want to get? Like, what do you see yourself using? What do you see yourself replacing in your house with all of these products that we have? And she gets them, you know, when she sits down to get them enrolled, she gets them thinking about months, you know, next like 6 months of orders that they're going to be replacing to get them transfer buying over to the healthier stuff. And then another way is for the people who say that they can't afford it. She said if it feels right, then she will approach it from, okay, well, you can't afford it, then I'll come to your house, you get your friends together, I'll come to your house, 3 of your friends enroll, or 4 of your friends enroll, and you'll get your kit for free. And that's always an option too. And they said, again, back to the relationships, focus on the relationship and really, really, really share the heart of Young Living first. Share how we care about those relationships, how like that is the priority because we're so passionate about this. Like we really do care about other people and how their households are and how healthy they are. And then follow up with what products Young Living has to offer. And then this one was really fun. I liked this question because I'm running, and you guys are probably, those of us who are in the Metro Detroit area, like there's a lot of builders in this area right now. So I have not ran into somebody in months that has said, oh, who's Young Living? Because like literally everybody knows somebody who does Young Living, okay, or who uses the product. So they said, how do you get people to classes? That was the next question. How do you get people to classes? And they said, have fun. People love experiencing, and that's what they're going to remember. They're going to remember the experience. So have fun with them. Don't advertise it as a class or a workshop. Like make it fun. You know, go out of the box a little bit and change the title of your class to make it fun. So one of the Royal Crown Diamonds got on and said, you know, I've had a lot of luck recently by teaching a hormone class because everybody wants to learn about hormones. So she said, definitely consider switching if you can, and if you're comfortable with it, switching and teaching hormone class because, you know, people, you don't buy oils anywhere, right? But she said, if you make it fun and you change it to something that they haven't heard and come from a different angle on it, your success rate and you getting butts in the seats is going to raise significantly, which I thought was awesome. The other thing is think duplication. And this is something that I failed at miserably in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. The green in me like really powered over and I was like, I have to teach them everything I know. Which that's really not the case. Like, and yes, people love information, but like I was totally not duplicatable. Like not at all duplicatable. Every single RCD up on the class shook their head when they responded and said, have a script, even if you don't read the script in the class, even if you have it memorized, but like look down at it, so that way people who are attending that class, like, they see that and they're going to go, oh, I can do that. You know, she's reading from a script. Like, I could totally do that. I could totally do that. Because you want it to be duplicatable. But the other piece to it is you want to keep it simple. Like, yes, people want information, but there's only so much information that they can uptake at one time. So keep it really simple. Very, very simple. I can't remember who I was listening to recently, but they said I know I've like plowed people over with an hour and a half of me just like vomiting on them with information. And I get so excited that I just keep going, and I'm like, I completely lose sight of reading the crowd at that point because I get so excited. But they said keep the classes to like 20 to 30 minutes, like tops, like teaching to 30 minutes, and get them having fun. Like, get them engaging with each other, get them asking questions, answering questions, start vision casting with them. How could you see yourself using this? What's the first thing that you'd like to change? Like, really get, like, you got to help them. You got to help them see how they can be utilizing this stuff in their life. Okay. And then they said, make sure that you're branding it to you. Be authentic. You know, don't try to be somebody that you're not when you're teaching or when you're sharing, because people will pick up on that. Okay. People are going to pick up that, number one, you're salesy. They, like, you're out there to just sell them a kit, right? And they're going to pick up on, which is where the whole relationship thing comes in, where you got to make sure that you're, engaged with them and really listening and keeping them talking. Okay. You got to keep them talking so they know that you truly are concerned for them and interested in hearing what they have to say and learning about them. But you have to be authentic too in this, because people will sniff out the people who are false or just putting on like the mask of, yeah, this is so cool, but really I don't use the product. Like, they're going to sniff you out and you're not going to go anywhere in this business. So be authentic. Okay. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Okay. And this goes back to what Melissa Pepping said, where she talked about identifying what each rank was. Again, it was just completely arbitrary. There was no science behind it. She just said, you know, silver's 1,000 or whatever number it was. Silver's 1,000. And every day she would show up. When she would start sharing or teaching classes, she would make sure that she was functioning at 1,000, because in her mind, that's where silver was. So that's where she had to show up. So if you're out and you're sharing and you are like, you're not feeling it, you just had an argument with somebody, like, take a minute to yourself and like get your vibes right. Like, slap some oils on, get some white angelica on you, get some fat, whatever it is you got to do. Like, raise that vibration up a little bit, because people are going to sense that. I will tell you that as an empath, I am crazy sensitive to people's energies. And I can sniff out those people in a room the size of Shannon Hudson, those people that have low energies or high energies for that matter. So just be cautious of that. And we have great oils, right, that like can help you raise your levels up. Okay. So your vibe attracts your tribe. Where do you want to go? What's your frequency? And like, are you in the mindset that you're going to succeed when you go out? Okay. The next question was, what was the biggest mistake? This was a good one too. And the answer was not pursuing people about the business at first. That was a big one. And they said, talk about the business right away. Get the kits in friends and family's hands. And like, who was it this weekend? Bethany Shipley said that Jordan Trant, Royal Crown Diamond, she's actually the one who commented on this. What she does, I'm like, that's genius. That's genius. What she does is every time somebody enrolls, she sends them the link, like she gets them their own personalized link, and she sends that to them and says, hey, because I know that you're going to be talking to your friends and family about this, and if they want their own oils, send them this link and get them signed up. And you're going to get $50 off that. And she leaves it at that. She also gives them, I don't know when, I can't remember if it's right away or not. So if somebody remembers, go ahead and like correct me on this. But at some point she does hand them the income disclosure statement. But right up front, like she's like setting them up for success to share it. I'm like, whoop, guilty, right? Because I had to be mother hen and own all of it. And I had to be the one to come to the house and teach the people and do all that. Like, no, guys, like somebody signs up, send them the link, because y'all know that they're out there sharing. So why not empower them from the very beginning to get people to sign up right away? Because if they're sharing with their mom or their sister or their brother, like that's easy to do versus having them invite a bunch of people over to their house and like, what if nobody shows up? Like the fear of failure, right? So I thought that was a huge thing. Like that was a huge thing. So just so y'all know, like I'm circling back around to all my people that I've never given their links to, and they're all getting links and the income disclosure statement, just saying. The next thing that they said was they would really, really, really stress the culture of Young Living. And again, focus on building those relationships. Really focus that and getting everybody to share up front with their friends and their family right away. And then another one popped in and said, hold on one second. What was the biggest mistake? Okay, so what was the biggest mistake? So she said the biggest mistake that she made in the beginning was not edifying her leaders when her leaders were around their teams. She said that once she realized how important that was to edify the leaders, and she started doing that, her team just exploded, just absolutely exploded because of being able to edify those leaders. That was really good. And then the last question that they asked them was, how do you overcome discouragement? This one was really good. I think because, you know, being stuck at the same rank for 3 years, like it's really discouraging, and I can't lie. Like if I didn't love this product so much and I didn't believe in this opportunity so much, like there's no way that I would have stuck around. Like there's no way I would have. What they said was when they get discouraged, they think about, they create those memories. They start, you know, they really focus on vision casting. You know, why is this worth it? What is it going to look like? What is it going to feel like? How am I personally going to feel, you know, connecting with that energy? What's that energy going to be when I get to walk across the stage as a silver or gold or diamond, you know, and like really focus on that and get your mindset right that's where you're going to go, so you can get there. And, you know, getting your mind trained back into that mode that, I'm going to be successful. I can do this. I am worthy. Like mindset. I could go on and on about mindset, especially with what I've experienced this past couple years. But really just focusing on creating those memories, okay? And like really vision casting, creating a vision board. It's crazy. Like I thought, on a side note, this is not RCD related. Okay. I was like, oh, that vision board stuff's all hoo-ha, like whatever. Like I've said about a lot of the stuff within like this whole network marketing and Young Living, right? So I created a vision board, and my vision board literally was like, I still have it, and I'm keeping it, because at the time when I created it, I was not confident. I did not have a voice. I wanted to be able to speak clearly. I wanted to be like all of these like mindset things that I knew that I had to overcome. That's what was on my vision board. It wasn't silver. It wasn't anything like that. And the crazy thing is, 3 years later, like I'm making a new board because like I'm done. Like I'm done with that board, but I'm holding on to it because it's so cool. So mindset, it's key. Vision casting, Where do you want to go? What are you going to do? How is it going to feel? What does it look like? All of that stuff. Then they said accountability. Accountability is the next thing, you know, getting that running partner, whether or not it's upline or it's crossline. Like, you know, and I struggled with this one in the beginning. And I struggled with this one again, you guys, it really goes back to the whole mindset thing. Like I struggled with accountability because I was like, you know, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to hit executive next month. And if I don't, meh. Like it was a mindset thing with me. And I didn't understand that. Because I kept getting frustrated. Like every time I would set a goal, I wasn't meeting a goal and I was getting so frustrated with it. Why am I not meeting this stuff? Like, I know I have it in me to do it, but like, why? For me, at the stage that I was in, accountability, I didn't want to let people down. I want this to come across the right way. I didn't want to let people down, but accountability was not my driving force, okay? Clearly I had blocks and things like that, like I had to get over. But for some people, accountability is a great thing, right? Like I know I've got people that I'm working with right now that I'm calling them and I'm like, hey, did you do your thing? And they're like, yep, absolutely. Didn't want to let you down or whatever it is. Like some people are in that game where accountability is a great thing. I'm finally in the stage where accountability is like my jam right now. Like my mind is right. My blocks are gone. Accountability is working really well for me right now. So just be mindful that if you're, this is not like what RCD's talked about. If you're struggling with somebody who is having a hard time with accountability, who's struggling meeting their goals and staying with stuff that they've told you that they're going to do, there's something going on up here that you're going to need to help them with, okay? There's a block somewhere, I can guarantee you. Okay. Overcoming discouragement. Sorry, I totally got off tangent about that. I'm so sorry. Okay, so overcome discouragement. This was the last thing, and it was really taking a moment to step back. And I believe this was Melissa Pepping who spoke on this. No, it was Jordan Schramp because she's huge in mindset. Take a step back and say, what truth are you really believing? Right? Because we've got two different things going on, right? So what is it that you're really believing and what is it that you're buying into in your mind? Shoot, I don't have that notebook with me, but Sarah Damo talked about this weekend and I was like, whoa, I had a huge aha moment where she said that the reds and blues tend to steer more on the positive side of life, where the yellows and greens tend to be more on the negative side, okay? So be cautious of that, and I can tell you, I'm yellow-green, I really struggle with the whole, like, negativity thing, and really, like, needing to hack my mind to identify what truth it is that I really am believing. And then she said, and then once you've identified what the truth is, then take a minute and look at what was that trigger? Like, what triggered you to be either happy or sad, and do what you can to shut those voices off, you know, like hack your mind, because you have to speak truth into you. And sometimes we're the only people, I'm gonna get teary-eyed on you guys, because it's been a struggle the past 3 years, but sometimes like you have to speak it even when you don't believe it in yourself. But keep speaking it, keep believing it, because you will overcome it. Sometimes it takes a while. 3 years was a really, really long time to struggle, but it's okay because it's good and it's gone. So keep speaking truth into yourself and really take a minute and focus on, you know, what are you believing? And as again, the yellows who are on the caller, the yellows who are listening later, guys, I'm speaking from my heart on this one. Please get yourself some white Angelica, like please do, because we take so much and absorb so much, and really, we really want to make people happy and we really want to help them. And it's so insulting when people don't want to listen to us. And we take that on, that it's our fault, that we did them wrong, and then we get into our minds that, you know, we're not good enough. How could we do this? You know, you failed again, blah, blah, and like that, it just keeps going up there. So please, 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 hear me out on that and say, you know, white Angelica will be a beautiful thing for you. I have not gone a day without it. Since I found that, I will not run out of that oil ever, because it's been a game changer. And Sarah Adamo, oh my God, she put it best. She said, white Angelica is the nonstick coating for emotions. Yes, that is exactly how I'm going to explain white Angelica now to people. The nonstick coating for emotions. It's amazing. So, okay. So that's all I have. That was the notes. That's all I've got for you guys. I'm sorry, I got teary-eyed. I've just overcome a lot. And it's like, I'm finally hitting that goal that I set 3 years ago, and I'm going to hit it this year or this month. And I'm so excited.
Aww.
Oh, wow.
Yay.
I know, it's so exciting.
So Marlene, I have to take a moment just to tell you that your presentation and you're sharing those experiences with us. Like, it's okay that you got teary-eyed, because we really appreciate it. And I really loved your delivery. So,
I think you did the best job out of everyone. No, I'm just kidding.
So I do want to thank you for taking the time out, and you took really, really good notes too, because Tashina and I were joking. I'm like, wow, we don't remember all of that from the Royal Crown Diamond panel. So thank you for sharing that. Like, your detail in the notes that you took, clearly you're green, because it did help to refresh our minds quite a bit. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for sharing your personal experiences too, because as you're sharing them, my wife is like nudging me. She's like, that's so me. That's so me. I keep that in my purse. I have white Angelica. So that just goes to show you how your experience can encourage other individuals. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
We have just a few minutes left. Is there anything else that anyone would like to chime in on? Marlene, you did an excellent job of covering a good array of topics. So is there anything that anyone would like to add?
I just wanted to reiterate a couple of things that now that I can remember a little bit. One of the things was making sure that you do the IPAs. Every single Royal Crown Diamond spoke of that. But it was very interesting, because there were more than a couple times where a couple of them said the exact opposite. Yes. And it was a reflection basically of their personalities. It was a reflection of your vibe attracts your tribe. One distinct one I remember, Lindsay Greenmont, the homemade mommy, was like, simplify, simplify, simplify. Don't do this big old beauty class. And like, as she was speaking, it was hurting Melissa Pepping in the heart as a blue red. She was like, no, I dreamed about the days when I could have crystals and we was going to be fan my soul right now. So the focus of duplication is, as was stressed, building the relationships, nation and education, and the IPAs. But at the same time, you're going to do you're going to do your personality, you're going to focus on your strengths. I just read the second version of the color personalities. And if you haven't got that, I suggest that you get it, how to know yourself and understand how you interact with other people and understand how you can speak better with them, how they're going to get motivated, etc. And that's one thing that starts out in the book is, so how can I change my colors? And that's the wrong question. The question is, how can you understand your colors better? And how can you make sure that you're not in the troublesome part of your color? If you're a red and you know that you tend to cut people off and you tend to get upset easy and you have short patience, remember, you're not constrained by that. You have strength over that. You can tell yourself, I can deal with this. I can take more time. That is what you do, is work within your colors and create your team. You know, if you are the red green, if you are the red blue, then make sure you have a yellow green with you. And then together you guys can cover the room. You're going to have someone that's going to be relatable there when you have both of you working with a team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really good. Just really quickly, I want to add to that, to Marlene, the point that you made from one of the questions that was asking, it has to be especially for someone who's green, blue, like for me, it does have to be enjoyable. And I have to feel like it's authentic. So I have to feel like I'm being my ordinary and regular self, because otherwise, you know, if you're being fake, people detect that and they pick. So I think that's really, really important. Something to remember is that when you're getting into this business, it's not necessarily just about trying to mimic or be whoever it was that showed you the business or other Royal Crown Diamonds. Like, be yourself, and that's will get through to people. Like, make it fun and enjoyable. We have a lot of blues on our team, so hence why we have our team events where everybody can come and enjoy association with one another, have face-to-face interaction. We do have a lot of greens and yellows on our team as well. So we've got those bases covered, you know, and so I essentially say, like, continue to be yourself and work to the strengths of your team. And don't give up, because it's very easy to get discouraged. But if you don't give up, you will get there. So I just wanted to share that. Before we close out the call, is there anything else that anyone else would like to share?
I just want to say one more thing. If you're following a leader, like let's say, and I'm just going to use Scott and Brenda as an example, right? Because they have this incredible resource for us that we can utilize. But if that does not resonate with you, then find somebody else whose trainings and whose teachings it resonates with you. You know, and don't be afraid to go to Crossline, to lock arms with somebody who's like even across the country. Like, don't be afraid to reach out to people and lock arms with them, with the people who you resonate with, because I'm telling you, these relationships that you build, like even with Crossline people, like it is so powerful and so incredible. And it's amazing. And when you connect with those people, I can't wait to walk. I can't wait to go on these retreats with these people that I've connected with. I can't, like that drives me, because I know that they're running and I want to run too, because I want to be there with them, because I know what their struggles are and I know what they're doing. Like it's awesome. So find the training that resonates with you. You know, we've got Scott and Brenda, you've got Sarah Harnish. I know Sarah Harnish does not resonate with a lot of people, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Find the person that resonates with you and run with it.
All right. I couldn't have said it better myself, Marlene. So thank you for sharing that. Well, with that being said, this will be the time we normally share events, unless, Marlene, there's an event that you would like to share. But we've shared the events. If not, we're going to go ahead and close out the call for tonight.
Yeah, I don't have anything right now, so we're good. I'm good on my end.
Okay. So thank you. Monica, I saw you joined as well. Anything that you would like to promote? Monica still there? Or to Monica? You're muted, darling. Okay. Hey, Monica, you're muted, darling.
You're still muted, Monica.
Okay, here we go. I've got nothing special that I'm doing this week, and I have nothing to add, but that was an awesome, awesome presentation. And I got like 10 things I got to work on.
Okay. So does anyone have any questions then that they would like to either put to Marlene, or since she's our quote unquote expert for tonight?
You mentioned something about edifying leaders around your team. I'm not exactly sure what is meant by that.
Okay, that's a great question, because I didn't know what that meant either. I was like, what the heck is edifying? So edifying is when you speak life into that person, okay? You're complimenting them, you're showing the people that they're with, the people that are on their team, what an awesome leader they are. and how awesome they're rocking their business or they're rocking their life. Like, you're really just loving on that person, and speaking life into them. That's what edifying is. You can also edify events too, just on a side note. I didn't know this either. But you can edify events. This is a great way, like if you know somebody who's going to be teaching an event, you're like, oh my God, they're such a great speaker. You seriously don't want to miss this. Like, I learned so much from this person. Like, clear your calendar. You have to be there for this, because you will walk away and your life will be changed. That's one example of edifying.
And I'll just add to that, because for those who know, Dana and I, we were part of another network marketing company before we joined Young Living. And this was always one thing that they stressed was edification. And in a sense, this is kind of where your upline comes in, or your cross line, or whoever it is that you're working with, because this is that outside authority that legitimizes everything that you said to your personal or your personal prospects. So when you're edifying, say this is a person that I have so much respect for. They have worked with me and helped me to accomplish A, B, and C. They are a great speaker, like as Marlene mentioned, and they are really doing some things within the company, build excitement, so that when that person comes on, they're like, the prospect is sitting up in their chair and they're like, I can't wait to hear what this person says. So that edification is so important. I stress that you really try it if you have not been using it.
So I can just add to that. I have also been in another network marketing company, and this is like one of the top things they always talk about, and one of the things that I saw was missing in Young Living. But edifying is just building up. So if you think about how we talk about Shannon Hudson, I'm sure a lot of you that have never met Shannon Hudson probably want to meet her from the way that we talk about her. Now, is she the picture perfect of health right now? And could we say something negative about her? Probably. But that is what you want to do to your leaders on your downline before they give a class, and to your upline if they're ever going to be around them. If you want to get people on the Zoom call, you should edify the people on the Zoom call. And that's the way that you get people to events, by edifying all the doctors that are going to be there, all of the individuals. So it is a skill of network marketing. And again, it's usually stressed a lot in some other companies, but it's just building up the other person, whether that's your downline that's giving the class, whether that's your cross line like Shannon Hudson that you're trying to get people to her event, or your upline as another resource. And it's something that should go on back and forth all the time within the team.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, Tashina. I do want to guard our time because we try to stick to our time limit. It is 9:31. So thank you, everybody, for being on the call. And thank you for your great questions. Once again, Marlene, thank you for sharing your wonderful, wonderful notes. We are very appreciative of you doing that. And we look forward to everyone being on the call next Sunday. But if you're in the Metro Detroit area, hopefully we can see you guys Tuesday. Come out and support our team event. Have some fun with us. Associate and just share some oily tidbits. So we're looking forward to that. So I'm going to let everybody go. Till then, have a good night, have a good week, and we'll see you guys then.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks. It's been awesome.